Hello princesses! Today I'm going to be talking about the Holika Holika Cross Peko collection. This is the hardcover glow cushion as well as the Bun Puff. These items were kindly sent to me for review by Holika Holika. I was not paid to promote them and I was not asked to say only positive things about them either. The disclaimer is getting super repetitive, but if you haven't seen any of the other videos that I've done with Holika Holika, then it is definitely worth mentioning. I always love a good cushion, so it was inevitable that I was going to review this, but I decided to include a review with the Bun Puff as well because I am a beauty blender or a cushion puff convert. I will use one or the other. The beauty blender I think is a fantastic tool, but I'm super lazy and sometimes I don't want to get out and dampen it before I use it. Can you say you blame me? So if I don't want to dampen my beauty blender, most of the time I will just use a cushion puff, which gives me almost as good at the finish. So when I saw that they had a Bun Puff, I was extremely intrigued because it's like a massive, like this is it when it's dry, and I think I showed you guys what it looked like when it was damp when I applied the cushion in this review, because it does work best when it is damp. It expands like to be that big. It is absolutely massive, but it's kind of like a very similar texture to a beauty blender. Of course there are pros and cons when having something this big because it does get bigger. It's literally the size of my entire cheek. It is hard to do things in small areas. I mean, that's just what happens when you have a big tool. But I definitely thought it would be something you guys would be interested in, but something that wasn't probably going to get its own review because it's just not long enough to talk about by itself. So the product description for the cushion says, the moisturizing double moist serum and aloe vera ingredients gift the skin with strong moisture and keeps the skin healthy and moist with protection from UV ray and hazards. The hybrid clear powder absorbs sweat and sebum while brightening and moistening the skin. Provides non-sticky velvet finish and expresses smooth and luxurious skin with air touch powder and glossy up oil. This cushion firstly comes housed in the cutest ever milk carton that you actually have to open and ruin to get the cushion, but that's okay. Inside the milk carton there is a cushion case and the cushion itself. The cushion case is really cute. It has a picture of the Peko mascot Peko-chan, and then the cushion on the inside has a really cute scalloped design pressed into the foam. The cushion comes with a cushion puff with Peko-chan on the front too, and you can choose to purchase the Bun Puff separately. The Bun Puff looks like a decent size when it's dry, but when you dampen it, it swells up to be the same size as the cushion case itself. It really is quite big. The Bun Puff applies the product really quickly, but it is a little hard to maneuver around the smaller areas due to its size. I was sent the shade 02 Petal, which is slightly more beige than I would prefer, but it actually fits my skin tone pretty well. I compared it to my perfect match, which is NARS Sheer Glow in Siberia, and it does look a little bit darker next to it, but it doesn't lean cool toned, which I really enjoy. I find this cushion very easy to apply with the provided puff or the gigantic Bun Puff. I find that the cushion puff gives me slightly more coverage, whereas the Bun Puff seems to really enhance the glow of the cushion. I find that this cushion covers my lighter scars and imperfections, but it isn't quite enough for my darker scars and acne. My skin always breaks out during the winter, which is so annoying. Because of the glowiness in the formula, it does give my skin a beautiful natural glow, but this can be a little bit too much in areas around my nose where my pores are more apparent. It does however do really well over drier patches of skin, and it camouflages them rather than enhancing the flakiness. This is how dewy it looks in full lighting, with moisturizing skincare underneath and not being set with a powder. If you want a glowy base, then this is a fantastic option because it does look amazing. However, you can see it creasing on my eyelids, and I do find it to be a little bit too sticky to wear like this normally. The stickiness doesn't bother me too much, but my hair gets stuck to my face quite often, and that just isn't a good look. After 8 hours, this cushion is looking super glowy. It doesn't look oily on the majority of my face, with the exception of my nose. My nose does look oily to me, so I would need to blot this section of my face or wear this cushion for a shorter period of time. The rest of my skin looks beautiful. It looks perfectly dewy and the coverage has only worn off a tiny bit. But the nose is the downfall for me. This cushion is a beautiful option for princesses who have drier skin and are looking for a cushion that gives them a beautiful glowy but still pretty natural looking base. However, it is not a cushion that I would recommend to oily skin princesses. Just having glowy in the name probably would have put you off a little bit, but it does look glowy, and after a day's wear it is going to look too glowy on oily skin, and I can tell you that from previous experience with having oily skin. If you guys don't know my history of skin, I used to have mad acne and really oily skin, and then I went on Accutane for 2 years. Now my skin is more normal. I still get the odd breakout and that's totally fine. It's definitely not like it looked before, but my skin doesn't really produce that much oil anymore, and I thank the heavens for that, because having oily skin is such a pain. And so the biggest upside of this product, which is the beautiful glowy finish, is going to be the biggest downfall for a lot of princesses as well. So it's important to take your own skin type into personal consideration when you're going to buy this product. If you have dry skin, it's likely to look really beautiful on your skin. If you have oily skin, you can still wear it. I'm not saying that you can't, but it is going to look oilier after a long day. That's just what happens when you have oily skin. Personally, I absolutely love wearing this cushion. I am wearing it today. The color looks actually really good, and you can see the beautiful glow that it has on my skin. You can kind of see that it does get a little bit too glowy just in these sections for me, because it does emphasize the texture, but in general I think that it looks beautiful. It just is something that I'm going to aim to finish up during winter. I'm in New Zealand, we are in winter at the moment, because I know in summer that my skin is going to get oilier and it's not going to look good when my skin gets oily. As for the Bun Puff, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this in action. I don't usually do like reviews on tools that often, but the Bun Puff is a fantastic option for princesses who are wanting to get their base on super quickly and they're not too worried about getting a little bit of foundation in their hair or their eyebrows or on their lips and things like that. Because of the size, this is the smallest that it gets, and you can use it when it's damp as well, but because of the size, it's hard to get it into small areas. Even if you roll it up like that, it's still like it's just so big, so it's kind of hard to blend around the nose, kind of hard to get a precise sort of edge around the eyes, but it is amazing if I'm doing cheek or eye makeup swatches. So when I do cheek swatches, you put the color on your cheek, you take the photos, you take the video, then use makeup remover to take the base off, reapply the base, go on to the next cheek shade. Same with eyeshadows. I recently did the Holika Holika Glossy Play and I needed to do 12 shades on one eyelid in one shot, because you don't want the lighting to change. So I got to use this because you just pat, done. Because I'm not worried about getting it anywhere else, I'm just pat, and then it was done. So much easier than using a smaller beauty blender or a cushion puff as well. So it is definitely something I'd recommend for that. You can see how thick the foam is, because if I hold it a little bit too tightly with my nails, you can see that I've made a couple of little indents in there, and it is like it comes back out, but it does take a little while. So the foam itself is really dense, picks up the product beautifully, applies it beautifully, but there are downsides. It is massive. I also forgot to mention that this is one of the cushion cases. There is another cushion case that comes with pastel colors, and it has that same scalloped pattern on the outside with Peko on the front of that as well. So if you don't particularly like red, then there is a secondary pastel option for you too. Thank you so much to Holika Holika for sending these products for review, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.